Hello, everybody. Michael and I have decided that we're going to watch Survivor: Australia versus the World. Which, I mean, we'll get into that
You're
in
going
a
to push
second.
me into it.
Oh yeah, I really forced Michael to actually. Actually, Michael, you're a massive Survivor addict, right?
Yeah, I love Survivor. I've watched all the American ones and the Aussie ones, except maybe one of the super old ones. I can't remember. But I do really want to say at the start that you have no idea how big the fandom in Survivor gets, and I would barely get in the front door. Like people are way into it.
Okay, and we'll get into someone being way into it actually, because one of the contestants this year is way into it.
Yeah, but you have only ever really watched the first Australia one.
It wasn't the first
maybe
Australian
way
one. It was
back
the
in the
first
day.
one on Channel 10.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, anybody who's watching this would probably know already, but there were a couple of seasons of a really old Aussie one, which is one of the two that I didn't see, the second season of that. And then they sort of went to Channel 10, and then they've had 10 seasons of that. So you watched season 1 of that one.
Yeah, and it was long. It was very long.
A lot of the Aussie ones are long.
I did like it. I mean, there were parts of it that I didn't like as much, but I did like it. It wasn't as much backstabbing as I expected, but yeah.
Yeah, especially in those ones, there was a strong, still sort of loyalty part to it. Some of that is just the contestants, but some of it is sort of some old school kind of playing. But it did mean that things sort of stuck to partnerships. There wasn't too much movement, I guess.
Okay, so do you want
Whereas-
to fill people in on exactly what the premise is for Australia versus the world?
I think anybody who starts watching this is going to know, but yeah, sure. So, I mean, they've had 48 seasons of US Survivor now.
Gosh.
And like I said, there's been 12 Australian ones, but there's also been like another 10 countries, I think, or thereabouts. So this one is a shortened season that they filmed it almost a year ago in Australia, and they've had, so it's only a couple of weeks of gameplay. It's only going to be 3 weeks on the screen here, but I think it was how they managed to get some of the big name US people here to play. So it's kind of, it's 7 Australians, 3 Americans, and then 4 other people from other series around the world.
Yeah,
so they've
so
got
there's
someone from New Zealand.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you go.
Finland.
Yeah.
And South Africa.
Yes.
And I don't know the fourth one.
And there was
It's
Quebec.
the woman. Oh, is it? That's it. Yes, she's the one that I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. Yeah, I even know who
Yeah.
it is. I don't know anyone's
done well.
name. Just literally watched it last night.
So I was always going to watch it, but I did sort of say to some of our friends, "Oh yeah, who wants to watch this? Like it could be a good one, because they're all returning players and they're people who have been pretty good in their own seasons. Some of them multiple seasons, some of them really big names, and because it's a short game, it's probably not too much of a commitment, and it should be fairly dynamic. And the first episode was last night, and you having just watched one quite long, early-ish Australian season.
Yep.
I didn't know how you would go. Whether you would just sort of be a bit bored with it, or
No.
whether
No, I was all in. I'm all in. I'll share some of my early thoughts.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I do remember a couple of people's names. George. And what's the name of the girl that he has the She doesn't like him.
I almost want to go through like every person and ask you for your opinion on every
Okay,
single person,
go on then,
and
go.
then for me to sort of fill it in the background.
Go then.
That's why I sent you that page so you'd have all the names in front of you.
Oh, you did? Did you send me a page?
Yeah, just in the signal there.
Oh, okay.
So the one you were talking about was George. So
Yep.
yeah, what did you think? And he was talking with Shawnee.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. So I liked how during the initial initial competition that they had, one of the people on the world team said, what did they say? Like that he's annoying or something? He's irritating. They said something like that after he'd just won and was walking off in an Australian themed Speedo, by the way. I will And
Yeah. With his dad bod.
good on him for embracing a healthy body, but not a fan at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's someone who he played a couple of seasons, and even in his very first season, he got people offside really quickly, and you'd think, he's toast. But he did really well at sort of working from the bottom, and just constantly surprised people. Really dynamic, talks them around, isn't afraid to make moves, and he went really far in a second season. He went down to top 3 or 4 or something in a season with Shawnee.
So
they have a conversation later where he sort of says, yeah, yeah, he happens to be gay.
Yeah.
And that funny conversation where he says, yeah, I've got no animosity towards you, because he's sort of not as well connected as some of them. And she
and that's right.
And said,
I'm never going to work with him. Yeah.
Why would you have animosity towards me?
But then straight after that, like he goes away thinking, yeah, I had a great conversation with Shawnee, and then they cut to her saying, no, I'm never going to work with him, and the music sort of goes
I love some creative editing. Yeah. And he also has a conversation with the other two guys who we'll talk about later, David and Luke, where he's so keen to get in with them, and he's really keen, I don't know if you noticed, to name their sort of little alliance. Because one of the things that's sort of proven somewhat true over time is that people with named alliances sort of they feel a bit more ownership to it. So he's really keen on giving it a name, because it's that little bit more likely to do better. And David is just basically taking the piss with the name.
Yeah, I just loved it that he said, "How about the power bottoms?" And George was like, "I mean, if that's what you want, okay."
Yeah. What about Shawnee?
So the thing that I had to keep reminding myself is that while I was watching it, especially the very start of the show, is everybody's trying to make an impression so that they'll get airtime and stuff like that.
Really?
Everybody's being extra.
Yes.
And I thought she was extra in the beginning, but after that, I thought, okay. Once they got back to the camp, I thought, all right, actually, I like her.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, Aussie audiences, in general, tend not to love people who are extra, or talking themselves up. And she is, like a lot of people on here, very charismatic, but in the tribe itself, she's sort of relatively easygoing and smiles a lot to people's faces, but she's quite funny to camera in the way she'll sort of deliver a line smiling, but will still want to cut people down. And she's famously sort of one of the people who, she's not watching every season or anything like that. Like she says in the opening, she's there to get paid, basically. She's one of the Australian who's had the most days out of all the seasons. I think it's her 4th or 5th or something time. Because the camera just kind of loves her, and she just keeps coming back. She's never actually got to the final tribal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which I know the one you saw was 2, but they're often 3.
Oh, okay.
These days. So yeah, could be 2, could be 3.
All right, who do you want to do next?
Well, we talked about David and Luke. Do you know David?
I don't remember him. No.
There's from something else, or you don't remember him at all?
No, I don't watch TV. You have to remember that.
He's the one that was sort of in the leather jacket and the leather pants and called himself.
Oh no,
golden
I remember
dog.
him from the show. I totally remember him watching him last night, but I don't know him from anything else. I don't recognize him.
So he's almost like he's almost like the main character in this one, sort of going in, because he was in one season, sort of in the first half of the Aussie seasons, and went down at about 4th or something, got voted out, came back. They did an all-star season at about season 5 or 6, which he won. Like, he absolutely dominated it. He's a model. He's someone who's been on several other shows, like he was on an Australian version of The Apprentice, where Janine, who's also on this tribe, was a judge.
Okay.
He's really connected with lots of people, actually. I'll go through some of the other ones later, but it comes up later because he was just on Deal or No Deal Island.
Yeah, with Parvati.
Yeah, in the US.
Mm.
We can talk more about that later because it's sort of a pretty big thing.
Okay.
But the biggest thing to know about it is that he won it, the US one. And it's like the most anyone's ever won, apart from maybe that Beast show, which possibly came afterwards, I'm not sure. He's won the most money on a game show anywhere in the world.
Wow.
It was like the equivalent of like $9 million that he won on that show.
Oh, no wonder Parvati must be really pissed off.
Yeah.
She says later on that he basically backstabbed her right at the end. Anyway, let's we'll come to that.
He's also, he knows Sarah, who you probably don't remember because she got the least sort of coverage during the whole show. She was on the Australian side as well. Sarah, he knows her through modelling. He's been on a season with Janine, been on a season with Luke.
So he knows them all, basically.
He knows a ton of people. Yeah, very well connected. And like he said, he doesn't know how to play quiet or under the radar. Some of them try to reduce their threat. He only knows one way, really. His way is just go big.
Yeah.
Which may not go well, but potentially, there's definite downsides to that, but it's very entertaining.
So I thought that I thought him engaging with what's his name, Rob, pretty much straight away. That was interesting. I thought,
Was that the bit where you went, oh, hang on, so we're not going slow here?
Yeah, I thought, okay, we're straight into it then. And then after they come back and have that competition where they have to use the slingshots thing to break those things. I'm using thing a lot, sorry. He did it. They had a chat again, but Rob initiated it this time.
Because he's seen Rob's season on South Africa as well. So some of them, the Americans probably won't have seen much of the other ones, but yeah, a lot of those. Well, I shouldn't say that. At least some of those other players have seen the American season, so they know those players pretty well. But yeah, he has seen Rob's and liked his game, and probably also saw that he's a really big, muscly guy, and sometimes the muscly guys tend to like to keep at least another couple around. Otherwise, they talk about using shields a lot. Like you need to be able to play off each other. If you're the only big guy, you're sort of seen as
a target.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we'll find out. But no, I thought David. It might just be a matter of editing, but I thought, and of course we didn't see a lot of the Australian team. We didn't see huge amounts of them.
Yeah.
But from what I did see, I thought he seems to just be playing the game, and he's not like big or loud. I didn't think he played larger than life or anything like that, except at the very intro part of the show. But
where they're all just playing it up.
Yeah.
It's all sort of I guess the main thing is that even though it is really big and he's like talking himself up, he's sort of, and I'm sure he thinks he's all right, by the way, but there's a lot of it that is for the camera. Like he's got a sense of humor as well.
Okay. Well, when he said he wants to name the team the Power Bottoms, I thought this guy is funny. Okay. Did you want to do what's his name? Luke next?
Yeah, because he was in that 3 as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you get much of an impression of him?
No. He seemed to be a hanger-on to David.
Yeah.
That's the impression that I got. Yeah.
So in his first season, him and another guy who went on to win it, they sort of had this, they were this duo, and they're kind of cheeky, like a bit sneaky, a joker. Definitely, like he might have looked like a hanger-on there, but he can be a player as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and he happens to have worked in the mines with Kirby before they came onto this show, so they know each other as well. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a fair bit of history there, and he came on a second time as well. So he's done another season where afterwards, because I think he's got a couple of kids who, I forget whether they were sick. I think one of them was sick, at least, or they had something going on in their lives, and there was a massive sort of crowdfunding thing after the game. You know, he didn't win it, but a whole lot of people raised it was something massive. It was more than the person who won. I think it got to like $250,000 or something, and they just shut it down. They said, "This is thank you very much, but this is ridiculous. The amount of money people are donating towards it." So he was like sort of a crowd favorite in that season, and people identified with his story. And I think I'm getting this right.
I vaguely remember that.
And I think, if I might be remembering right, that there's been a celebrity Big Brother in Australia as well that he also won.
Wow.
After that had international people in it. Yeah.
No, well, okay. So sorry. Why don't we move on to Kirby since you mentioned her?
He is pretty. Yeah, actually, you tell me what you thought first.
I didn't really get much of an impression of her.
Yeah.
Again, because we didn't see a lot of the Australian team.
She's not playing it up for the camera as much. She played one season 2 seasons ago, but it was when this was filmed, it was not long after she had played. And she's someone who she played AFLW, and she has coached AFLW. Like, she's come from that sort of footy background, and she had never watched the show before she went on, and she just turned out to be like a natural player. Like, she was just very well suited to it. Didn't know the history of it all, didn't know the ins and outs, the norms. She was just a dynamic player that shook it up, and she went really far. Like, she was sort of the star of her season without actually winning.
Wow, okay. That's interesting.
And that's why she comes on, and it may have seemed almost a little bit rude even, but on the mat she just sort of says straight up, like, I'd never seen this before I went on my first season, and I haven't watched any since. So I know all you world players over there, like, because you could hear some of them when the Americans came out, right? They're going, "Oh wow, it's Sari, it's Parvati," almost falling down. "Oh, they can't believe it." And she's like, I don't know who any of you are.
She's my kind of player.
Yeah. But some people think that in a way that could help her, you know, as much as it sort of worked in this episode for some of them to team up with the big names, that it could be a potential downside too, you know, if they're fawning over them or can be charmed easily by them. She's not someone to be charmed easily. Like, she is big time her own person. Yeah.
I can't wait to see more of her. Who else was on the Australian team? You said Janine.
Who else have we got? Yeah, so she is pretty famous in her own way. She's like a corporate. She's the person who started or owns or is the CEO, I think, or equivalent of Boost Juice.
Oh, okay.
In Australia. So she's like, commercially very successful, has written books on business and, played one season in which she went quite far. I think she played on a season with David as well. So that's right. And she has done another show, like she did Apprentice that David was on it as well. I think she might have had a hand in him going out in his first season, actually. Yeah.
Well,
but she's a little bit older than the rest of them, but she also doesn't, some of them are there for the $250,000 and everything else, but she's there just because she loves the game and did, quite well at it without, she played fairly straight down the line last time, but that was a little while ago too.
Okay, so that's all of the Australian team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
And like you say, we didn't see too much of them just because once they won their challenge. Oh, yeah, and before we get on to the others, how about the challenge, the second challenge with the blocks? That was pretty impressive.
It was. Also, if they didn't have David, they would have been stuffed. Also, surely they realised that George is an impediment. At least on that challenge, he was.
there's a bit of standing around.
Yeah.
But he wasn't alone there. There was a few people standing around.
But now that you've actually explained the background of these people, because I was actually thinking, oh, you know what, they don't seem that... Are these really the best we've got? That's what I was thinking.
They're not necessarily the best athletically, right?
Yeah, well, that wasn't really what I meant. I mean, I just thought, are these... Based upon what I saw, and again, it wasn't much because they focused more on the international team. But based upon what I saw, I was like, well, I'm not really seeing anything too impressive yet. But hopefully But now that you've
sort
said all
of
that, I'm
manoeuvring.
like, yeah. Now that you've explained their background a bit, I'm sort of like, oh, actually, that they are kind of impressive. Actually, all of them. So the international team, huh? Yeah. There's some interesting ones on there.
So we had David take it on, the big block on his back on the Australian side, and then we had Rob take it on his back for the US one. I don't know how they didn't crumple. I thought someone was going to get crushed under one of those blocks.
It looked like David was going to. He did. I was like, he looks like he's struggling there, guys. Do you want to get up and help him? It's all like, it's okay. David will take care of it. Don't worry. But yeah, Rob.
I haven't seen the season with him. I haven't seen any of the international ones.
Mm.
But yeah, he apparently, he won his. I
think they said he won his. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he won his.
Yes, he won Survivor South Africa.
Yeah. Because I've heard that, there's other podcasts I listen to where they did an hour on each of these people that I listened to, before them. And he apparently, sort of got a crew together and led that crew in a very, stay loyal to each other kind of way. But as soon as you sort of step out of line, we'll cut you kind of way. Mm. Probably my favourite bit of the whole show was when he and Parvati were trying to use their charms on each other, and that they could both they both knew what each of what the other was doing, where they were sort of looking into each other's eyes and telling each other
you've got amazing eyes, you know that? And he's like, well, you've got amazing eyes.
And you're doing that thing on me, don't think that I can't tell. And she's like,
that was interesting when she was basically just going around trying to curry favour. That was actually before the challenge as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really interesting because they looked like they were potentially going to team up a little bit. Because she... maybe I need to talk about Parvati first. Parvati's actually all three of these Americans are, super big. Like I said, there's 48 seasons, right? So she's been on 3 or 4. She's probably... Actually, all three of these are probably top 5 US players.
Okay.
And they call her Black Widow a lot. She's known for being super charming. She tends to get girl groups with her, but she can sort of charm the pants off any guy. She sort of comes across as a little bit, flirtatious, right?
When they were when the others were like, surely there's no way he's going to go for that, and then he totally did go for it. When he gave his
where the guy, that was sort of 4 women in an alliance together that included Sari that went a long way, and now it's very hard. In a lot of seasons they try to get a women's alliance going, but it's almost. It's very difficult to do now because of what they did in that season. It's seen how powerful it was, and to try not to let that happen anymore.
Oh, because they don't want to make themselves a target now.
Yeah, or just the guys get really nervous.
Oh, okay.
And she can sort of win over almost anyone, which was why it was so interesting when Rob was like, I see you and I can see what you're doing and I'm sort of going to throw it back at you a little bit. He seemed a little bit, I don't know whether immune is the right word, but he was sort of somewhat resistant to her charms, because he'd probably seen a lot of her game.
Yeah, I
already.
wonder if he didn't talk about if he'd seen her before, seen any of her games before.
I'd be very surprised if he hasn't. Very surprised. But it was also interesting because, and we'll talk about the Deal or No Deal Island bit later, but she had I guess just to say it, she had, right before they filmed this, she had been on Deal or No Deal Island in the US with David, and her and David had obviously been talking about Survivor during that game, and he had mentioned Rob and how he liked Rob, so which she mentioned during the episode. So she will very likely try to work with David once they get together, because on that show, not only were they on the same show together, but they were super close.
Oh, okay.
Like down to like last four, like they were pretending to be mum and dad for this other like young contestant. Like they were basically pretending to be parents, and she sort of downplays it a little bit during the tribal council. Like I guess to go back a bit, she confides in him about it, which is sort of pretty bold. She didn't really need to offer that information, but I think she thought, well, I know I want to work with him because I know David,
so I'm going to give him something.
Is sort of interested in him. Yeah. And then when he sort of sees things going south and he throws that out at tribal council, she downplays it fairly successfully, it seems. But one thing she says is that she says, "Oh, he threw me under the bus or whatever at the end," but that did not happen.
Oh, okay.
Because none of them have seen it, right? When they go onto this
they're
filming,
going to be in for a surprise.
none of them have seen it. Yeah, they were basically just at the hip the entire game. And without explaining how that game works, he did put her up to play, and do the suitcases and everything, but it was not to throw her under the bus at all. So she sort of got the target off her back there. And that one of the funny bits in that episode was when Lisa, the New Zealand lady, where she sort of says, spoilers for Deal or No Deal Island, I guess.
That was funny. Actually, I quite like Lisa and worry for her greatly. But we'll get to her in a second, because my impression of Parvati and Rob, not good.
Not good. Oh, wow. Yeah, she's definitely one of my favourites. Yeah, like a lot of them are. I
don't like people who come in and just want to control everything, or think they're like master manipulators. Even if they are master manipulators, I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm glad you had a reaction.
Did we want to talk?
Sort of super charming, but also she, if she doesn't like someone, she's not shy about letting them know about it either. Like she'll let someone know they're on the outs if they are, which can be pretty entertaining.
So do we want to talk about Lisa? Because out of all of the contestants, she's currently my favourite. Even though I don't think she's going to win. I totally do not think she's going to win. I think she screwed herself already.
I watched the first episode of her season because I had an idea that I was going to watch it all before this started, but I didn't get there. So she won the second season of the New Zealand.
Also the last season.
Yes.
It got cancelled.
I think that had a little bit to do with COVID as well, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, it was funny. And by all reports from the other stuff I've listened to, she's just like a really normal kind of person. And she's just also like a super fan.
Oh yeah, she geeks out to Sari, like big time.
Yeah.
She's like, you want to watch the team? I'll watch the team. I'll do anything you want. Just tell me, I'll do it.
It's kind of cool that she just owns up to it as well.
That's what I like. I like that about her so much. I would be so happy if she wins. Seriously, I'd just be like, yes, normal people can win this.
It makes her really likable, yeah. So I don't know sort of how she came to win the season that she was on. Apparently she's quite good. It's hard to sort of see too much of it here. However, I mean, she did organise for... Yeah, she sort of got herself out of a little bit of a sticky situation when she was caught in between the two. And she seems to have got in with Sari and Parvati now, so...
I don't know, I think that surely Sari sees that she is just such a fangirl, and it's just like, oh, I can use this.
Oh yeah, for sure. But to talk about Sari, they mentioned her as... probably the greatest player who's never won. She's come really close. I think she's been in, is it 3 or 4 seasons, and she's come close like a couple of times, and on at least one of I think
times.
yeah, on more than one occasion she's gone out in a way that has sort of been a bit unlucky.
Oh, just completely
well.
random.
Yeah, like she's very good but hasn't ever won. And she's actually in preparation for season 50. They're getting a whole bunch of people back for season 50, which is filming now, even, or very, very soon anyway. She'll be on that as well.
Okay, cool.
And because she's
like
never
her,
won
by
as
the
well,
way.
I think people like her because they feel like she deserves it somewhat. And she has this way of like underplaying herself a bit, or she tries to underplay it, even though everybody knows how good she is.
Yeah.
That's why when they're all on the mat and they're saying, "Oh, it's Sareg," and she's like, "Oh, God, I can hear my name already." Like, I have to downplay. But she'll sort of take advantage of this, especially with all these other players, good players. There's going to be lots of names of people around. There's always going to be someone else that they'll want to get out first. And she just has this way of sort of low-key charming people again. And her and Parvati, as they showed, have worked together before.
They were in the girl squad together.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we want to talk about Cass? Cass is the Canadian, yeah?
Yeah, she's the one from Quebec. I haven't, that was a French edition, or a French language version of it. So I haven't seen that. I did hear an episode about her. I can't really say that much about her. I don't know a heck of a lot. We didn't see heaps of some of the other international players during it. We mostly saw Rob and Americans and Lisa.
Yeah, so I
by all
like
accounts,
you just
she's quite
did
good.
exactly what you just replicated a moment in this episode that I just laughed
Yeah.
out loud when I heard it. I'm pretty sure it was Parvati that said it when she was talking about their team. It's like, well, like there's us and then there's the internationals. It's like, you're an international.
Here you are. Yeah.
It's like, you are dumb. You're an American. This is not the American show.
Yeah, one of them said something like the Americans and the world, or I guess they're used to thinking of, America versus the world.
Yep.
I don't know, but it's true. I mean, you see it in there that they know they're in the minority on that tribe.
Yep. So do you think that we'll finish talking about the non-Americans first. So Cass was pretty low-key, not too sure what to make of her yet.
No, we didn't see enough.
There was Tommy from Finland.
Yeah, I like your smile. I
do too. I don't like his chances
too much.
Good luck to him.
Especially now that I mean, like Rob was saying, it was 4 women to 3 men there as well, and one of the guys is gone. I don't know whether that makes it more likely that they keep him for a little bit of strength in the short term, or whether just with Parvati and Sari and Tony and Lisa already, whether he already just finds himself on the outs potentially. He might be in a minority already.
Well, hopefully he can make a comeback.
Because it's such a short season and a short cast, there's probably only going to be 1 or 2 more before they just merge them or swap them anyway. So, because in a normal season of Survivor, you'd play in separate tribes for a little while, and there's a whole thing about sort of trying to keep your team, your tribe, strong for a little while. Having said that, in this one they vote out the biggest guy. They wouldn't have even got to the end of the challenge without him, and they've got rid of him now. So they're probably hoping that they'll merge soon.
Yeah, because
I think
even this episode they were constantly referencing the merge.
Yes, and I think the way they're producing this, they're not going to want a whole bunch of people to go out before they. Part of the appeal of it is, what are these? Aussies going to do when they mix in with the rest?
So do you think that... Oh,
how's
sorry.
Shawnee going to be with Parvati, or how's
Yeah.
Tony going to be with Luke, or some of these players who are a bit like each other.
Yeah, well, the
how
only
are they
one we
gonna
haven't
interact?
still talked about is Tony, actually. So why don't we talk about him?
Yeah.
he's the one who's won it the most, right?
Yeah, he had a quiet episode actually
He
by
did.
his standards. He's often sort of quite dynamic and a little bit chaotic.
like it.
He plays it a bit different than some other people. Yeah, he won one season, was a big threat in his next one, and went out almost straight away when he just went looking for idols on day one. And the second one he won was season 40, which I think is called Winners at War. That season was only people who had won previously in season 4 of America. So the second season he won, he's only one of only 2 people to do it in the US to win twice.
Mm-hmm.
He won against all other winners.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, he had a pretty quiet one actually. He they presented him a plan and he said, "Sure, let's go with it." So I think he's probably trying to downplay himself the best you can for someone who's won twice. Even when JLP says on the mat, he's introducing people and he says, "Oh, you've won twice," and he says, "Oh, thanks." Like he's sort of, could you please almost like not bring up the fact that I've won twice?
Sorry, JLP. Who's that?
The host.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was actually surprised to see him there because didn't they fire him? Or is it after this season?
They filmed this first.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Oh, that's another thing for you to know. So, I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but the rumors about it are that David will be the new host.
Wow. Okay.
Someone who's done a lot of reality TV and done a bunch of Survivor, and has
Well, I wonder if he
made
knew.
plenty of money for his family already, and yeah,
He wouldn't have known when they were filming this that was going to happen.
I don't know.
That just adds another layer to the show. The host
There's
is
lots
like,
of layers.
screw this guy. He's taking my job. So
And he's pretty muscly himself. You see him on the mat as well. He's rippling.
he is, yeah. He's always been like that, though. Even on the first season that I saw him on, he was like, yeah, this guy's
Right.
really extremely fit.
Yeah.
So the
and
American...
a doctor as well, apparently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking overachiever. So the Americans versus the non-Americans in the international team.
We done everyone? Yeah. Yes. So,
I'm worried for
Rob's
the non-Americans.
yeah.
It's not looking good. They should have probably stuck with Rob, even though he was being a bit pushy. They should have stuck.
Everybody probably goes in thinking, "Oh, now we can't just get smashed by these Americans who are the most highly credentialed." But at the same time, if one of them who's really good wants to be your buddy, it would get very tempting. It's like maybe they can take me far, or in Lisa's, in her,
Maybe she'll be my
from her
BFF
point of view,
forever.
it's like, yeah. Like she just loves her, and she would be very keen on a lot of these players. By the way, right? Like it's not just about Sari, but Sari's her favorite.
Yep. Okay, so
Rob really went downhill when he tried to, because he and Parvati were getting on okay, but when he sort of throws out a name and throws out Sari's name, who Parvati is friends with, but he also tries to say, well, it's 3v4 in terms of the Americans, but also it's it's majority women, because I think it's 3 men, 4 women on the Australia side as well.
Yes,
it's unusual actually. Nearly every season they make sure it's even. Whatever else they do, they make sure it's even. But in this one, it is uneven. But Parvati always has a strong. I mean, she can work with men for sure, but she's definitely like women strong. So when he sort of throws out Sari's name, who she's friends with, and says, "Oh, one of the reasons we should do it is because there's more women than men," I thought, oh, you're in trouble.
I remember the shot where they were doing that as well, because they did a long shot and you could see Suri sitting in the foreground and they were talking in the background. And Parvati actually says, "Well, I'm not voting Suri. I'll never vote for Suri."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, quite strong.
Yeah.
to just put that out there, because I mean, there are going to be times when things get down, to the pointy end. You shouldn't probably speak in absolutes, but I mean, she made a stand. She knows what she's doing.
Yep, she sure does. And
you could. One of the best things about the episode was you kind of got to see her work. Like she just didn't come in and dominate. Like she was on the back foot a bit, and you saw her. Like another good bit with her was when she's speaking to Lisa and Cass and just trying to suss out who they're thinking about.
Yeah.
And they're trying to give very little away.
And she says, it's me.
Is it me? Is it me?
Oh my God, it's me.
Isn't it? Like she just clocked it. It's like, okay, so you can read people.
Yeah, I enjoyed that moment. And Cass was sort of like, I don't know what to do here. I do not know what to do here.
Another bit I really enjoyed. There were heaps of bits I really enjoyed. That I was smiling through it. Another bit was when Lisa was talking about Rob, and saying, you do know, like, I won a season, right? Like, I'm not just someone who came in. Like, I do know how to play this game. It might not look like it, but.
And then there was one part where Suri was joking about how, Rob's a big guy, but what has he actually done? He's like lost the machete.
Well, yeah, Lisa sort of said that as well, actually. Yeah, the two of them were talking about it, and Lisa kind of low-key says, well, yeah, he talks... Oh, actually, it might have been Suri that started it, yeah. It's like, he talks a big game, like he can light a fire, and Lisa mentions the machete, which he has at least temporarily misplaced. So without kind of...
Didn't they show that it was stuck in the tree?
Yeah, that someone had just sort of put it there. But she did... Yeah, she had to sort of walk a little bit of a line there between... accepting that it could be Rob, but, she had three other... You sort of don't know what discussions you don't see in the edit, like maybe her and Cass and Tommy.
Yeah, and we don't know the exact order that discussions happened either, because everything can move them around.
Yes, of course.
So, my thoughts on how that went for Rob and Parvati were Rob went hard way too early. Because then he was just sitting around thinking, it's all managed now. I don't have to do anything. But actually, they had the rest of the day to just go, well, no, actually, let's go do this instead.
Yeah. And because I haven't seen his season, at Tribal itself, you could see why he was able to do well in his own season. Because like when he was explaining himself and not getting flustered really at Tribal, and, sort of using his words and casting a bit of a spell, he was doing, a pretty good job. You could imagine how someone could sort of, And he knows it as well. Like when he was talking about, I know I can kind of use my eyes and use my charm. And
when he was sitting around while Parvati and Suri were going around saying, let's just vote for him instead. He had, I don't like his laugh. They featured his laugh a few times because I think they knew that it would provoke a reaction.
Okay. Because people boss a bit. Yeah, I don't know whether that's a South African thing as well. Calling people boss.
Yes.
And then he says to Suri, I like how you're just sort of sitting chill on the beach. And anyone who's seen Suri play is like, that's what she does. She's not scrambling. Like, she looks like she's just being chill on the beach. That doesn't mean she's not doing anything. But she's...
Okay, so, and then they all go to Tribal Council, and I think the writing was on the wall already. I mean, they pretty much telegraph exactly what's going to happen.
It's interesting you say that, because like I've read a bit of people on Twitter and Blue Sky and stuff as well, like after, and there's quite a few people saying, oh no, like there's a chance Parvati's going here. Like they were worried for her.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think there was any chance of that. I think everybody had made up their mind before then. Yeah, it might have just been the editing that convinced me of that.
Would have been.
But I just felt like, no, everybody else's argument is way too compelling, and Rob has been doing nothing to support his case. If he thinks he's just going to turn it all over, he'll have to pull a rabbit out. He tried to pull a rabbit out of the hat at Tribal Council, but he
obviously did it because he knew his back was against the wall. Otherwise, I don't think he would have thrown that out there.
Especially considering he told Parvati, I'll never tell anyone.
It'll be interesting how many tribals you think you can pick. Because I sort of learnt over the years that I basically shouldn't bother to try to pick them because they'll
usually go another way.
They're good enough with their editing that they make sure it's not always predictable.
Well, I was kind of hoping. I thought it was going to be Rob, but I was sort of hoping that something unexpected would happen. Like maybe he'd have an immunity idol.
Sometimes it will.
Yeah, because I remember that from the season that I watched, the whole one season, because I'm a big expert now. And I thought, oh, maybe that'll happen, but no. So I was a little bit disappointed in that it was so transparent. At least to me, it was so transparent. It was just like, well, he's going to go. So yeah, that's it. He tried to stop it, but no, he failed.
Well, just to tell you some more about sort of what people think about it so far, it seems like it was overwhelmingly positive, like especially for an opening season. Like a lot of people came in with pretty high expectations, and just people have sort of been wanting this to happen for a long time, or something like this. So they came in with high expectations, and people really liked the episode. There was sort of lots of in-jokes and things as well. That you probably didn't get
I definitely
as well.
didn't get.
But since season 40 in the US, they sort of started. They talk about starting new, basically with 41. They changed the format slightly, and in the US now it's a shorter game, although not as short as this. And they throw in a lot more twists, and there's just heaps of idols and ways for people to get advantages or disadvantages, and although there's people who have different opinions on it, the sort of overwhelming there's definitely a vein of this isn't what it used to be, and some of the Americans who like watching Australian Survivor, even though it's not actually easy to watch over there, a lot of them like it because they feel like it's a bit more like old Survivor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and partly what they don't like about it is that there's so many idols in it that they feel like people don't get a chance to just play, that the game is sort of throwing too many different things at it. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that was interesting about it was, even though we saw a shot where George walked past an idol at one point, that was
I must
the
have
only
missed that.
Yeah, maybe you didn't sort of know what you were looking for. There was one bit where he's talking and they sort of zoom in on a bit of the grass where he and someone else, I forget who it was, had walked past an idol. That was really all that they had in the whole episode. They were also only on day 2, whereas normally they would go probably another day before they went to a first tribal, or at least, sometimes. But we didn't have any idol stuff at all. It was just sort of a pretty straightforward vote. So even though you said, there were no, you wondered if there might have been a twist or an idol, or there were some people, at least, who thought, it's kind of good that the game wasn't overwhelmed by idols straight away.
Okay.
One of the seasons that Sari went out, I think it was down to about 7 people. I'm probably getting bits of this wrong, but there were about 7 people left, and they all had idols or immunities of one form or another, and she was basically the only person of 7 left and went out. That was like one of the ways she went out. So,
that's horrible. She must hate idols.
I probably got that a little bit wrong, but yeah.
So
the people who are real fans would be able to quote all of this stuff off the top of their head and tell you which number season it was and who it was, and
So do you think that they're going to do a mix of the two teams? Like they'll say, okay, you go over to this team now, and before
often
they do they do a swap of some sort where they get them to draw things out of a bag, or they'll send one person over from each of them and mix them up a little bit. I think that'll happen. I reckon
pretty
that they'll
quickly.
send an American over to dilute the strength of the American team.
Oh, okay. Oh, if they get a choice, you mean?
No,
tribe, or you mean if it was directed by the?
Yeah, well, ideally, at least
normally producers wouldn't do that. Normally, they would either do it randomly or they would get the tribe to choose. The producers wouldn't just choose someone.
Oh, okay. Well, I would the thing I would most like is for that to happen, to dilute the strength of the Americans. And I reckon
there's only 3 of them.
There is only 3 of them, but they're all 3 of them. You can tell are very strong. As soon as if the 3 of them remain, you have to remember that over the course of the game. Well, I don't have to remind you, you know. But over the course of the game, people are going to be leaving on the Australian team as well.
Yep.
So by the time the merge happens, if all the Americans are still there, they're in a very strong position. So yeah, do you love this theorizing on my part?
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Often in a normal season, they would do that kind of on the Sunday episode. So we're having Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 weeks in a row, and then I heard that there might be one finale after that. But they're not really going to have time to wait until Sunday to do that, probably. It could happen really quickly. There could be episodes where they just have 2 people voted out at once. It's going to move pretty quick.
Something else that I just realised. So normally after the tribal council and somebody gets voted out, there's normally one person who's like, oh no, they were my best friend, or like there's at least one. But this time there was consensus. Everybody wanted him out.
Yeah.
Where's the drama going to be? That's what I want to know.
Another thing I saw people say is Parvati did such a good job that in the end she didn't even get one vote. Like he threw. Well, he thought he was being clever, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you caught what he was doing, but he was like, I think people have got. Yeah, he thought everyone was voting with him, and so he did Sari just in case Parvati had an idol.
Yeah, I picked that up.
But in the end, Parvati didn't get one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very interesting, and I have to admit, I kind of felt a little bit sorry for him when he suddenly realised, as the names were being drawn, oh no,
he was a bit hurt.
Yeah. He
I
took it well.
It did take him by surprise.
Yeah. And that's just that arrogance thing again, which not a fan of. But,
I like that he went in bold. There's no point just sort of bowing down to you got to play. But yeah, he went just a bit hard.
Did he really?
He needed to
even after he tried to throw Parvati under the bus. Did he really think things were going his way? That's the thing that I don't understand.
Clearly he did.
It's just bizarre. It's like, it's clearly not going your way. You are in big trouble right now, buddy. If you'd seen all the edited conversations that I'd seen before this tribal council.
I think he probably thought he was a little bit protected by his physical prowess, at least for just in the short term as well. I think they thought, because often what'll happen is that that people really go after the big guys soon after a merge or soon after but here that he probably thought, well, even if you don't like me, I'll probably get through the first 1 or 2 and then they'll come after me. Yeah.
Well, clearly they've decided they don't need him, and I hopefully there are no more physical based challenges, because they're in big trouble if they're
Aussie Survivor tends to be a little bit more physical with the challenges than US as well.
We're just tougher over here.
That's the part of the game they embrace a bit more. So I better hope it's endurance or balance or something.
Why don't we call it there? Because we've got another episode to watch in an hour.
That's it.
Did you want to do the next episode straight after, or?
I will.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just be. I don't know if anyone's actually going to watch these, but I just want to talk to you about it anyway.
Yeah. And I'm desperate for content, so I will also do it.
All right, I'll be back in this same hoodie later tonight then.
Look forward to it. Okay, thank you.